Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Fireside Readings with Mr. S. As you know, today is St. Patrick's Day, the day that people traditionally wear green. I've got my green St. Patrick's Day hat and my green St. Patrick's Day bow, and I'm hoping to be lucky enough to see a leprechaun today. I've got a fantastic St. Patrick's Day story that I'm going to read to you, and afterwards we'll talk about it a little bit. The book I have for you today is called The Night Before St. Patrick's Day. It was written by Natasha Wing and it was illustrated by Amy Woomer. It's about a couple of kids, probably about your age, who are trying to catch a leprechaun. Now, as the legend goes, if they catch the leprechaun has to give them its gold. But leprechauns can be very clever and tricky. We're going to see in this story right here. The Night Before St. Patrick's Day. 'Twas the night before St. Patrick's, the day to wear green. Not a creature was stirring except Tim and Maureen. They decked out the den from ceiling to floor with streamers and rainbows and shamrocks galore. The shamrock is a type of clover that grows in Ireland, the home of St. Patrick's Day. Later, they carefully made traps with gold charms and rings. I bet we catch a leprechaun. They love shiny things. For if they caught one, so the legend told, they'd find where he buried his big pot of gold. I would love to find a big pot of gold, wouldn't you? What would you do with a big pot of gold? I know what I'd do. I'd go right to Taco Bell and buy 1,000,000 tacos. They set all their traps round the room with great care, in hopes a wee Irishman soon would be theirs. The children then nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of gold coins danced in their heads. "Happy St. Paddy's," said Dad early the next morning. He started to play the bagpipes without warning. He huffed and he puffed an old Irish song. Mom dished out green eggs and sang loudly along. When from their bedroom there arose such a clatter, the kids ran down the hallway to see what was the matter, and what to their wondering eyes should appear but a terrible mess. A leprechaun was here. Look at that mess that the leprechaun made. Everything in their room is on the floor, and there's little tiny itty-bitty footprints everywhere. I sure hope a leprechaun doesn't mess up your rooms. Come to think of it, I sure hope a leprechaun doesn't mess up my room either. "Be quiet," said Maureen. "He's hiding somewhere, and when we find him, remember, we must hold his stare. For if you look away, if you so much as blink, leprechauns vanish, quick as a wink." The kids trailed muddy footprints back and forth across the floor, which led under Tim's bed and past the closet door. And then, inside a trap, they heard someone giggling. A real live leprechaun! They both saw him wiggling. His eyes, how they twinkled, his body so tiny, his hands clasped a trinket so golden and shiny. He was dressed all in green from his head to his toes, and he looked like a cobbler wearing fairy-sized clothes. A cobbler, in case you don't know, is somebody who makes shoes. The children approached him, stared straight in his eyes. "Tell us where your gold is. Don't be tricky. No lies." "I buried it under a rock, smooth and hard. It's marked with an X, right in your own backyard." So the leprechaun said the treasure's in their own backyard under a rock marked with an X. Do you think they're gonna find it? I sure hope they do. Let's see what happens. But when the kids went outside with their shovel and pick, they instantly saw it had all been a trick. So the leprechaun told them it was under a rock with an X, but look, every single rock has an X on it. "Ha ha! I fooled you! It's time to disappear. Happy St. Paddy's Day to you, and better luck next year." Well, boys and girls, that leprechaun sure was tricky. Well, boys and girls, that was my story. I sure hope you enjoyed it. You know, come to think of it, I actually have a real-life leprechaun here. Let's see what he thought of the story. Leprechaun?
'Twas a good story, boyo.
Hey, wait a minute. If you're a leprechaun and I catch you, that means you have to give me your gold.
Ah,